Devereaux!
I'm Mr. Devereaux.
What's that humming mean?
Beethoven's Fifth.
I never said I was more than I am.
Welcome everyone to episode 60 of Kiss Meets Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I'm the other host that's not Eli.
No, I have one mouthful.
No. Wow. So, I guess right off the bat, man, the Indy Expo, we got more information since last week. So, of course, my excitement level, I'm as giddy as a little schoolgirl. So the big announcement, guest-wise, Ace Frehley, Eric Singer, Bruce Kulick, Bob Kulick, Brent Fitz, and Todd Kearns, who are in the Gene Simmons band, and then also Michael James Jackson. So very excited for that.
It's the new Kiss.
It is. Ace is one that has been on my bucket list. Never had the chance to meet him yet. Michael James Jackson, I was going on and on about the cruise. I was interested to hear what he said. Now it's going to be cool to, hear it in person and, get a little chance to meet him and whatnot. So super excited, man. Just waiting to find out when the tickets are actually going to go on sale. I'm going to try to jump on them like the day of they go on sale because they're probably going to go quick. And, I don't know what all the packages are going to include this year, or, the prices and all that, but hopefully it'll still be in the affordable range, I'm sure. And if anyone is planning on staying both nights, I definitely recommend booking your hotels like ASAP, because I jumped on the website for the host hotel. It was already booked up. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Went to look at other hotels in the area. 2 or 3 other hotels in that vicinity are booked up too. Did get lucky and ran across one that was within like a 3-minute distance from the hotel, so jumped on it, booked it. I know Luke booked his the other day. Another friend of mine that's coming up with us, they booked. So, and just so you know, they don't charge you right up front. They don't charge you until you check in. So, you don't really have to worry if you don't have the funds right, at the moment. So, definitely going to be worthwhile, though.
Yeah.
We're trying to talk Brandon into going both days.
I'd rather go all 3 days.
So who are you guys most excited when you heard the announcement of the guests so far?
Vinnie Vincent.
Okay. Hey, there's still hope. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he is going to add some more people.
I'm having a hard time deciding, honestly. I mean, with the announcement of Bruce and Bob, I'm still kind of hoping that they get on stage and jam, which would be potentially my favorite part of the whole thing. But of course, I'm also super excited to hear what James Jackson has to say, or Michael James Jackson. And then, of course, Ace. I mean, every one of those guys on that list is worthy of, oh, holy crap,
Yeah. And, we've talked about it before. Eric, he could be there every year for all I care. He's awesome to meet, talk to. Same with Bruce, Bob,
I think Eric lives in that hotel, doesn't he?
It seems like it.
He just pops up out of the bushes outside.
But I agree with you, Luke. Like, I really hope Bruce and Bob do a jam together this year, and maybe Eric can even join in this time. And
that'd be killer.
Who knows, with Ace being there, that he might get up there and do something with them too. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
he could do Talk to Me. He might do that.
He might do Talk to Me. Yeah. Maybe he could show Bruce how to play Parasite again.
So I kind of think about it, and I'm like, wow, one half of 2 of my favorite Kiss lineups are going to be there. Eric and Bruce, Eric and Ace. That's pretty cool, to think that. And again, it's not necessarily all. There's liable to be more guests. Who knows?
Well, was it you or somebody said that Gene is going to be in the general area? Will he be in the area around the time of the Expo, or is he going to be there before that?
Well, he's going to be in Indianapolis in June. I know it's like almost a month apart, but I was just thinking in general.
Right.
He is going to be coming to Indy again at the end of June. It's like, why not try to bring him to this to try to sort of draw more people to want to go to that too at the end of June as, a little extra thing. Paul, I don't know. I got a feeling it probably won't happen because it seems like he's a little busy right now. He's doing a lot of the art stuff, and I think he's still doing a few Soul Station shows. But he seems to be really involved in the art stuff right now. He's, doing a couple art shows coming up and, signing prints and all that stuff. Not the artist formerly known, but, of his artwork. So we should start gathering up like a list of questions we want to make sure we ask him this year because we always forget.
Yeah.
Well, we already know the answer about Vinnie Vincent, so.
True. We can,
But as far as I think, and not to be funny, but I really feel like each member of KISS has saved KISS at certain times in their career, because if it hadn't been for that individual at that time, they couldn't have moved forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Bob Kulick's even a part of that in ways. I mean, look what he did for Paul's solo album, the stuff on Alive 2. I mean,
I think maybe Mark St. John might be discluded from that, though. Yeah. Although, and that's not to say that I dislike his lead playing. I really actually enjoy Animalize a lot, even because of that. But I think they potentially could have gotten anybody that could do stuff like that, and it would have been generally the same.
But see that says a lot, though. It's like, out of all the guys that probably auditioned, and they went with him. So
yeah.
It's unfortunate that it was an issue with his body that pretty much prevented him from, because who knows how long he could have been in the band. It's hard to tell. I mean, we haven't heard a lot of talk, from Gene and Paul about their relationship with him, and because they didn't, the way at least to us, it didn't seem like they had much of one anyway, because it didn't seem to last that long. But I'm just kind of curious, or even Bruce. Like, I'm sure Bruce, I'm sure they got along, because I'm sure they probably kind of worked together on stuff, and that'd be something interesting to maybe ask Bruce about.
Yeah. Well, you heard Bruce say, Bruce, before he was actually in KISS. So I just wonder when that started, and why they didn't choose him first over whoever else, like St. John. It's almost like it seems obvious now, but at the time, I don't know what was going on, of course.
Right.
It was almost like maybe they were hesitant at first because maybe they didn't want to, maybe they felt like it would, upset Bob or something. But Bob was the one that started pushing for him more than anything.
Yeah.
And I think finally, with what happened with Mark, obviously they weren't expecting that, so they were kind of in a pinch because they were in the middle of a tour.
Yeah.
So I think they almost just was like, okay, we'll try him. Let's do it.
It's a sort of a kind of like a situation they had when Ace left, and they had to get somebody really quick.
Yeah.
It was actually probably even more quick when Mark just couldn't do the shows.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They probably, I don't know how much time. Didn't they have a European tour that was already booked? And
yeah.
I don't think they had played any dates yet. Did Mark actually play any? I know he was trying to, they were both there, Bruce and Mark. I don't remember how it goes exactly, if he actually played shows.
I think it was, he just did the, a couple of the dates here in the States, wasn't it?
I think so.
He only did 3 or 4.
I think it was 2.5. Was something like that.
And I can see that, or almost bet that Gene and Paul went into, with Bruce coming in, it was probably just going to be to finish the tour, and then that was probably going to be it at first. But then we know what happened after that. So I think they realized, like, yeah, we probably should have gotten him as soon as Ace left the band, pretty much. I mean, not taking away from Vinny or Mark, but I'm sure they would have rather had that guy that would have been consistent, throughout the rest of the years,
right,
since Ace chose to leave. So,
well, yeah, because that was what 84 through 96.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and he was.
And you got to think too that Bruce was the guy that they could say, well, what if you did something like this? And he'd be like, yeah, okay. Whereas Vinny and Mark both don't really seem like they would have been that way.
Right.
Bob Ezrin would have said to them, stop with this and just play from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like both Vinny and Mark would have been like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, because Bruce was the longest tenured until Tommy now, so
yeah.
And then, well, I mean, Eric too, for that matter, as far as drummers. So
it seemed like that about the time the reunion happened, not exactly at that time, but not long before that, Bruce was learning to play. He was playing different. You could tell that he wasn't as technical as he was in the beginning. And it's almost like I would have sort of liked to see that go on a little longer. Not that I would not wanted the reunion, of course, everybody wanted that, but it's almost like you sort of wonder what could have happened after Carnival of Souls.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce started doing vocals on a song, so it could have just blossomed from there.
Because I think it was Gene's idea to do Carnival of Souls record. From what I understand with Paul's book, Paul didn't want any part of that. He said he didn't want to be jumping on a bandwagon, but then at the same time, you think about early in the 80s, they were sort of doing to try to fit in, because they sort of didn't have the Kiss thing anymore, like Kiss was. So, but if that was Gene's idea, they could have continued with that. I mean, once grunge was dead, though,
I mean, if you think about it, from the very beginning of their career, they've kind of followed the bandwagon, because it was that whole glam scene was the huge thing right at that time, and they were inspired by the New York Dolls and all those bands. So, I mean, yeah, they definitely did it their own way and molded it into what it became. But, I mean, generally, that was kind of where they started was, hey, let's...
Like Alice Cooper type stuff.
Exactly. Like, hey, let's kind of do this same type of stuff. Like, we want the shock, and we want.
I just wonder why that they didn't have a guillotine, and Ace, Ace could have chopped his head off every now and then.
There you go. Would have been too expensive to buy makeup for the doll head that would.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, I mean,
guillotine as a sponsor and all that.
With Gene setting himself on fire so many times, we almost had the real thing a few times.
Yeah.
Well, he actually had a snake on stage for a while.
Alice?
No, Gene. What was that snake's name that he lit the flame with?
Oh, the,
He had that. I don't know how many tours, a couple tours.
Like in Phantom, where he uses it to kill the evil Gene.
It has a name, but I can't think of the name now.
Yeah, I can't remember. Was it like Charlie or something? Yeah.
Norm. That might be one of our trivia questions.
It probably is. Luke just happens to have the actual thing in his closet. Oh, yeah, what's the name of this?
Yeah. How did you know? Pause the freaking thing. I got to come up with a new question.
Yeah, so, again, with the Expo coming up, I cannot wait. It's always cool to meet Eric and Bruce and Bob as many times as possible, and finally getting to meet Ace, and even the guys that's in Gene's band. That's going to be cool. Get a little insight from them, and especially Michael James Jackson, man. So definitely gonna have to get Creatures, at least Creatures, maybe look it up, signed by him too.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious too. I assume they're gonna have a Kiss tribute or even two.
Yeah.
this being our first, well, at least my first Expo, being in a Kiss tribute band now, it'll be cool to kind of sit down and take notes, you know?
Yeah, and I've like, and it's, I don't know, I don't want to like make it sound like, oh, it's against, something against the bands, but I've actually never stayed long enough to sit and watch any of the bands, and I would like to do that this year for a lot of the same reason you were just saying.
Yeah.
I would like to sit and enjoy it and just kind of, study a little bit, and because it's and as a Kiss fan in general, you're going to be sitting there critiquing them anyway. You can't help it. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's no like ego or better than you or anything like that. It's just more as a Kiss fan, like, no, that's not right. That's not, or that is awesome. Whatever.
Gene doesn't stick his tongue out in hair.
Paul didn't make that many steps on the stage. What are you doing?
Well, I was going to ask if you guys know, I never really checked into it or heard. How many dates did Gene do on his tour, and did he officially finish the tour? Did he say there was going to be more shows, or, I mean, like eventually?
I'm pretty sure, well, let me see, because they had that Australia tour booked, but I heard they canceled it.
Oh.
So I don't know if he has any other dates yet, or if he's just focusing on the vault thing now.
Yeah, because I just wondered. It seemed like that just completely stopped, and then the next thing was the vault. So I just wonder if the vault was the reason, or if they'd just already finished the tour, or what.
It probably was the vault. They probably couldn't. He probably realized he couldn't squeeze both into the schedule. Play a show in, I don't know, Australia, and then you got to be in New York the next day or something for a vault. That's crazy. I don't know. Maybe we can talk to the guys in his band about that and get a little idea. If they'll tell us.
They would definitely know.
Yeah.
I mean, at least as far as the tour part, they probably know that.
Yep. And hey, it's giving them something to do by being at the expos now. So.
Well, yeah, because anybody that's had any connection with Kiss, that's their career once they're out of Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like record producers, or I played this on that record or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like, and I'd feel the same way. I'd be pretty proud to be one of those guys, and I think they all are.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, same goes with Ace's band. Any of those guys, it's like that's probably the next best thing to being in Kiss is being able to jam with one of those guys.
Yeah.
Does Richie Scarlett still play with him, or?
No. I think he's doing his own stuff right now, like solo albums and whatnot. And it would be cool to see the two guys from Gene's band if they got up and played. One of the nights, like maybe they got a little band that they threw together too.
Yeah.
And not only that, the drummer who's going to be there, he used to play with Slash and some other bands too down the line. So I'm sure he's got a lot of interesting stories and whatnot. So,
well, I a lot of people, or not a lot, but I've heard people disagree with what I'm about to say. But I like the band that Paul had on his solo tour, his last solo tour.
Oh,
which
yeah.
band from the Rockstar NXS show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that guitar player was really good. In the last 2 seasons of American Idol, he was
and that's the same band that was on the DVD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was killer.
Because that drummer was at the Kiss Expo that one year.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and he was a real nice guy. And, I just wonder, they're probably wrapped up in doing other stuff now, but I think that guitar player is a really good guitar player. Because, on American Idol and even that Rockstar show, and then being with Paul, I mean, he's played everything you can imagine.
Yeah, yeah. And, I guess I got to kind of pick on Eddie Trunk again. I was listening to a clip from one of his recent shows, and he was sitting there critiquing Paul again about him doing this Soul Station thing and talking about, he could barely even sing what he does in Kiss now. Why is he going out and trying to do this stuff? And, if he's not hitting those kind of notes in Kiss songs, why is he doing Motown? And you go watch all them videos. He sounds perfectly fine. It's a whole different type of singing for one. You're not like belting and yelling and like a lot of the Kiss stuff. It's more, soulful and a little softer.
I seen that too, or listened to that too, and he was talking about how there's a bunch of other singers on stage with him.
Right.
But a lot of those songs, there was a lot more than one singer for a lot of those like Motown groups. The Temptations. I mean, they all singers.
Yeah. I mean,
so
Paul's
just not. He's not. I mean, he's probably doing that for both reasons, but really, it's designed for that type of music.
Right. I mean, you can go back to the 50s or 60s when that stuff was brand new and those bands in their prime, and they would have had backup singers with them on stage then. I mean, that was just part of the live experience to make it sound bigger, like
and
it does on the record.
And all kinds of musicians.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But yeah, the clips I've seen of Paul, I think it sounds really good. I was really surprised at how good it sounded.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even mixed through a soundboard or anything. It's just a YouTube video.
Right.
And I just kind of felt like, he was definitely just going out of his way to basically pick on Paul, throw rocks at him. And it's like, first of all, like, so what expertise, knowledge do you have about singing and vocals? I've never heard him sing before. How does he know? Singing the Motown stuff is the same as singing the Kiss stuff, or vice versa.
I think he was just assuming because of Paul's vocal issues, how can you sing anything? You know what I mean? But,
and not only that, but like, who is Eddie Trunk? You know what I mean? Like, why is it that apparently Eddie gets to decide when Paul doesn't sing anymore?
Right.
Like, that's kind of part of who Paul is. Even if it was completely the most unlistenable crap anybody's ever heard ever, who are any of us to be like, man, he shouldn't be doing that?
Exactly. Because again, there's plenty of other singers out there like that. And again, would we rather not have him up there at all doing it after all these years? And then we have no Kiss?
Yeah.
Or are we going to enjoy it while we still have it and quit nitpicking every little thing like these guys do? And, it's like he just constantly has to be that guy now that's like the most hated guy by Kiss in his own mind, and they don't like me, this and that, and he acts like he doesn't care, but then he goes out of his way to sit here and toss rocks for no reason about a subject that he knows nothing about.
Well, it seems to me like that, and I don't know if this is true, he would probably say otherwise, but it seems like he's like trying to be that guy.
Yeah.
It's almost like when a caller will ask a question, it'll come across as being negative. It's almost like that's his agenda. And I don't think it is really, but it just seems to always go that way, whether it's Kiss or whatever.
Yeah, he'll sit there at one show and, I don't let it get to me. I don't care. It is what it is. Paul has something against me. I don't know what it is. And then the next week he's sitting there doing that kind of stuff to like try to egg it on or fire it up. And
well, I mean, I know all Kiss fans are different. They like different things about Kiss, and there's some things they don't like. But he says that, and I've heard him say this numerous times, well, there's no bigger Kiss fan than I am. But I'm thinking, well, that's not true, because if it was, you wouldn't have a problem with the lineup, and you'd still be seeing them in concert, whatever. You were the biggest fan ever.
Yep.
Because I know fans that are a lot bigger fans than I am. But I don't claim to be the biggest fan in the world or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't have a problem with the current lineup. I mean, yeah, everybody has their preferences. But
I mean, I don't understand like what makes a fan supposedly a bigger fan than somebody else. I mean, everyone's a fan in their own way. I don't see how anyone could be a bigger fan this way or any way, really. I mean, if you have that love and passion for the band, just like anyone else does, to me, that says enough right there. Now, and I know some people base it on material things, like, oh, well, I have all these collectibles and I have this and that, so I'm showing my status, but no.
Well, it's like I said the other day, if you guys get the makeup tattooed on, you're a bigger fan than I am.
Maybe not. Maybe we're crazier than you are.
Yeah.
You're a fan. You're fanatical.
Maniacal.
Diabolical.
I mean, like, I have no tattoos on my body at all, let alone Kiss tattoos, but some people act like just because they've got sleeves of Kiss tattoos that makes them the ultimate Kiss fan. Fine, if you feel that way, fine, but in my heart, I know how much of a fan I am and how much I love them, and you guys are the same. Everyone's, it's like some people just need that, like, that, physical thing to try to prove it, like some sort of trophy or something, or, materialistic type thing.
Yeah, I don't have any materialistic stuff at all. I don't collect anything. I think it's stupid to have a bunch of stuff taking up space. Collecting dust. I don't understand people like that.
I mean, I don't even have anything in my room that says Kiss on it, so
Right.
Don't look over my shoulder or nothing. But
you're just not that kind of guy.
This is strange. I had literally never until this moment thought of this, but I've totally got that the Paul Stanley Apocalypse is one of the guitars that's tattooed on my arm. Does that count as a Kiss tattoo?
Technically, it does. Yeah.
More than any tattoo I've got.
I never thought of that.
I don't know. I mean, I have a Hello Kitty on my leg, and it's Hello Kitty. That's sort of like, if I just had makeup tattooed on it, there you go.
There you go. It all ties in.
A lot closer than I thought I was.
Just go touch it up with the demon makeup on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You will. And I have stars on my other leg, so technically that could be. I mean, I'm reaching now.
And you got Peter's face on one of your butt cheeks, don't you?
Both of my butt cheeks. Yeah. I have one on one side with a teardrop.
I have Gigi's face tattooed on my ass.
Thought that was you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, when it comes down to it, first of all, we started off with Eddie Trunk, so it's like, he has no room talking about that stuff. Quit throwing rocks at the guy. If you really don't care about what they think, then quit talking about them. It's one thing to talk about, opinions about the past or things like that, but not, you sitting there criticizing and throwing rocks at them.
Did you listen to the one where he was talking about Meatloaf retiring?
No.
Because Meatloaf had just released a statement that he's going to probably never be able to sing again because of his back problems, and it takes a lot to sing. And I guess he's been struggling with his vocals for a few years now. He hasn't actually sung in public for about a year. And that somebody had asked Eddie Trunk about something pertaining to that. He said his wife was singing Meatloaf not too long ago, and she said they left because they couldn't. It was so hard to watch him struggle, that he just can't sing anymore. And Meatloaf is like, he really has to spell it out. That's sort of what he's known for as far as singing stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as he's 70 years old, so it's like all these guys are pretty much at the same level. And I always wondered back when I was younger, like, well, you think about some of them old country artists, they get up to their 80s and stuff, they could still really sing country. It's like, for the most. But then I was thinking, what about Judas Priest or one of those bands? When they get up there, they still won't be able to do that because that's a lot more intense to try to sing. And, but yeah, he was saying something about. I don't remember what I was talking about. About something the Meatloaf thing. I brought that up based on something. What was we talking about before that?
Basically, just the whole thing with vocal, the way people were singing live and whatnot. And that's not the first time Meatloaf has had vocal issues. I mean, he blew his voice out back in like the 70s or early 80s, something like that. But again, and then these people, it's like, when you go to see them, yeah, it's not going to sound like the '70s anymore. So then they got the nerve to leave, you know, and you buy the tickets, you go see the person, then you leave, which to me is disrespectful.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you want to criticize them, but then guess what? As soon as that person's gone, then you're going to be the first person that's sitting there, you know, idolizing them and, you know, making them sound legendary and, oh, I really miss them, all this stuff. It's like, well, you sure didn't appreciate it when they were still here, did you?
Yeah, because like I was saying this earlier today, me and Kat was talking about her. I was talking and she was listening because I've been seeing talk for quite some time. But you know, it's like Ozzy just announced his farewell tour, and well, I already missed Black Sabbath, so now I'm probably going to miss Ozzy, depending on where he's going to play and how much tickets are. But it's happening to every band. I mean, the only two that haven't, well, only three bands off the top of my head that haven't officially announced is Judas Priest, although they were going to retire and then they decided not to. The Scorpions, which was going to retire and decided not to. And then Iron Maiden hasn't said anything about it yet. But, you know, there's very few bands left that isn't in that category, but they're right there.
Right.
And I'm afraid I'm going to miss all of them. I mean, Metallica is another band that I've never seen in concert that I really want to see. And then Slayer is doing their farewell tour. I mean, you know, it's left and right.
And that got me thinking the other day about Slayer. It's like, you know, here Metallica's been around longer, and they're still going strong. You know, no hints of calling it quits. But then here's Slayer. It's like, it makes you wonder, like, what?
I think my opinion is I think there's a lot of internal things going on. And it seemed like ever since Jeff had passed away, it seems like that last album got really heavily criticized. I mean,
Right.
thought it was fine.
And then they couldn't work with Lombardo. They kept
Right.
having issues with him.
Yeah, and the guy that replaced Jeff on guitar, what band was he with before? I know, but I just can't think of
Exodus,
it.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it
Gary Holt?
I think, yeah, he's a really good guitar player.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, and apparently Kerry King says that he's going to continue doing stuff after Slayer, so whatever that is, who knows? I mean, as far as Ozzy, I think Cuyahoga Falls was the only Ohio date that I saw.
Wow.
And then there's a couple Indiana spots like Noblesville, things like that, so I don't know if those will be any closer. But I would definitely like to try to see him. So I've never seen him solo. I've just seen him with Sabbath.
I've seen Kiss and Motley Crue at Noblesville, so that's about a 4-hour drive from here. Okay.
Yeah, might be worth it just to see Ozzy one last time. I don't know.
And I know he can't hit some of those notes, but that doesn't matter to me.
To me, he sounds fine. I mean,
because I don't expect it, you know. But I've also seen footage from like 1982, and he couldn't hit those notes.
yeah.
So it's, you know, it's just sometimes you have an on-off day, and you know, other times when you get to a certain age, and it's amazing that Ozzy's still living.
it really is.
Yeah. Well, that really is. I mean, that goes just about with any musician, because if you think about the recording, I mean, literally the point of the recording is to get the best possible take of whatever it is you're doing. So to expect that live is, I mean, the odds are astronomical. You know what I mean? It's not that the recording is a capture of your average talent level at the moment. You know, it's more like usually it's the peak level. So anybody who can do their stuff live exactly like it is on the recording must be either an amazing musician or they don't record at their peak.
Right. Let alone all the layering and vocals and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
But I thought Ozzy's always sounded pretty much like he does on the albums live. I mean, he's just got that voice, and yeah, they put that effect on his voice live too. You could tell. You know, there's a little bit of that, whatever the effect is they use on him. I mean, even back in like '82, like you watch that one little TV thing where with Randy Rhoads and they're doing those songs in that studio. He Ozzy hits a few bad notes, and I want to say it's I Don't Know or Mr. Crowley, but he knew it because you could see him like react as he hits. He's like, he's shaking. He gets pissed off at himself. Like that's how hard on himself he is about that stuff.
Yeah.
It happens. I think I don't know of very many shows that go completely perfect where not one member of the band doesn't have one little flub or something throughout the whole show. I mean,
the way as far as the way I look at it is, if it's a live, you're there because I want to hear it live, and it's not going to sound exactly like you said, like the record.
Right.
I mean, when bands intentionally change the whole arrangement of a song and do it live, I don't like, because then you don't even recognize the song, and they're tired of doing it, so they're trying something different, and that I don't agree with. But if you're just playing it, for the most part, true to the album, it's going to sound live and it's going to sound good. Even if there is mistakes, because a lot of times people in the audience, they don't know when you miss a note on a guitar or you make the wrong. A lot of people don't know that stuff.
Yeah. And they always say, you are your worst critic, but that's just part of being a musician, I guess. It's like, the people might not notice it because they're just having a good time, but you notice it. And even though people are, saying, "Oh, great show," no, it wasn't. No, it was. It's something. Okay. I'll take your word for it. But
and the same thing with albums. I was watching the Iron Maiden documentary yesterday, and Steve Harris was saying how that first album had some really good songs on it, but it wasn't the production that they wanted. And then the second album, the songs weren't as good, but the production was better. And he said, but some fans like the first album better than any other album. They say that's the best one. Because they like that all sound, So it boils down to a person's opinion.
That is a big part of it.
But you can't wear an Iron Maiden shirt at a Kiss interview.
Yes.
Who's gonna show up in one at the Expo?
And they were thinking about that too on the documentary. They were saying how Iron Maiden opened for Kiss. They did that tour together in whatever year it was, and how that they got along really good. It was a great tour. Obviously, those two bands together, and everyone that was in the documentary that was related somehow to Iron Maiden or band members, they were talking about how Kiss would, opened their eyes to a lot of things on the tour. How theatrical, because this was in 1980 for the Unmasked tour, I think it was. So this was on Iron Maiden's first tour, I think, 1980. So that sort of, Dave Murray was saying how that they a lot more theatrical after Kiss because they learned a lot how much tour they need. So I think that's a pretty. No one's ever said that about me.
I've never heard Maiden say anything about Kiss because I've always assumed that maybe they didn't really care for him or something. I don't know. I figured maybe that was part of the whole reason.
Well, they showed a picture at the end of the tour. I don't remember if it was a black and white or color picture, but anyway, it was one of the members of Iron Maiden. I don't know if it was Dave Murray or I can't think of the other guitarist's name right off.
Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian. It was one of them guys. I would want to say it's Dave Murray, but I'm not sure. Looked like they were dumping a bucket of confetti on Paul's head, and Paul was on stage. He had the guitar on. He was at the mic. It looked like confetti. It could have been water. It's hard to tell.
It's like Kiss and Rush became great friends when they toured. It's like, you wouldn't think that those two bands would have anything in common or get along, but that's awesome. I just wish they would have toured again, Yeah,
I remember some interviews Gene had said, or I'm sure Gene and Paul both felt the same way. They thought that was like the new Zeppelin, like the Canadian Zeppelin. Because if you listen to the first Rush album, there's a lot of that type of sound. Geddy Lee could really sort of sing like that. I don't know if that was intentional but.
I was listening to a couple songs from that album yesterday, actually, and you could tell where even Neil Peart picked up a little bit of stuff from John Rutsey with what he was doing on the first album. Because some of that stuff you listen to, like some of the rolls and fills, you would think it is Neil, but you're like, oh, wait, you got to remember, it's not.
Right.
So it's like you could tell Neil even picked up some stuff from him.
He just did the first album on the first tour, didn't he?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
He passed away a few years ago, but yeah, I mean, he definitely obviously didn't get much credit being on one album, and with what Neil Peart's done, but if you really listen to that album or watch some of those performances, I mean, he was a very solid drummer too.
Yeah.
Very underrated. And again, I don't think they included him with the Hall of Fame, if I remember. I think it was just, Geddy and Alex and Neil.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken. I need to watch that documentary again, that Rush documentary. It's been a long time since I watched it.
Too, because when I first watched it, it was really, I mean, I'd seen and heard a lot of stuff on there. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. Because I was never into Rush for years and years and years, and then the only thing that I, like everyone else, just listen to stuff that's on the radio is what I'm more familiar with.
Right.
I mean, I have a lot of the CDs and a lot of the albums now, but a lot of that history I'm not real clear on because it's not like a band, that I grew up with.
Exactly. Well, let's see. Yesterday was the anniversary of the release of All Hell's Breaking Loose.
Huh.
34 years.
Reed Hustler comes up to me one day.
Hey, I am cool. I'm the breeze, all right?
I wonder who wrote that rap there at the beginning. You think Paul wrote that? Or you think Benny wrote it?
Or wasn't that an Eric song?
Was it?
Or maybe, did he write the lyrics? He might have only written the riff. I don't know.
I've always been curious about that because then there's a little bit of that in the middle of the song, too, where he sort of finishes up what he was saying in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It sort of sounds like the way it's worded that Paul would have wrote it, but I never really, I don't know who does the credit on the song, and because everyone sort of collaborates on certain songs, and I never really heard who done it.
Two days ago was the anniversary of the Lane Bryant fashion show. That was 16 years ago.
Ow.
Wow, it don't seem that long, does it?
I know. It's nuts.
I still haven't got my underwear in the mail.
Been going commando that long, huh?
Yeah, it's terrible. Especially in this kind of weather.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to jump on in trivia, but again, just want to reiterate, get your hotels booked ASAP for the Expo.
For Ace. Yes. I get it.
Ace app.
Just download it on your iPhone, your Ace app.
That would be it, yes. We'll spread the info, too, once we know more, as far as any more gas, ticket sale dates, all that stuff. Hey, if you guys are planning on being there, let us know, because we will be there. So,
well, I hope they have the Kiss mud wrestling this year.
Oh, I didn't even know there was any doubt. I might have to cancel my reservation.
Before I forget, wasn't Gene at Days of the Dead recently?
That's the one coming up in June.
Okay, because I hadn't heard anything specifically that went on, so I was sort of wondering.
Yeah, so now it's like, because I got a feeling he won't be at the Indy Expo, neither will Paul, but I'm still fine with it. So then it's like, okay, do you want to go to the Days of the Dead mainly just to meet Gene? But then it's $100 on top of the ticket just to get his autograph or photo, whichever. But
and then the vault, you got to pay for that too.
At the same time, though, it's like, how many other chances are you going to have to meet him anytime soon? Guys aren't getting younger. The appearances don't happen as often.
Well, I think that Gene is finally realizing that he's got to stop pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's already had the conversation with himself. Just by, it seems like he's, okay, I'm putting out, because what he said on the last thing I seen with the vault, where he said, he wants to put it out while he's alive and able to put it out.
Yeah.
He don't want to just sit around and never be released. So I mean,
Yeah,
I agree with that 100% with everyone's material.
Yeah,
But for him to come out and say that,
right? Because I mean, how many times do we see all these like albums or box sets come out like Hendrix and John Lennon and Doors, all that stuff? After these people are already gone, and then it's always sort of bittersweet at the same time because So I understand why he's doing this, but more importantly, I bet Shannon probably had the talk with him and started getting a little sense in his head, like, look, we need to start enjoying our time together.
That's very possible. That would make total sense.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that according to the way he talks about how many songs and everything he's written, he could release another box set probably really easily.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there definitely could. And like we said last week, I'd love to see Ace and everybody else put out something too, with all the stuff that they're sitting on.
Well, this might give Ace an idea since, he's sort of participating in this Gene Vault thing.
Yep. And I'm curious too, like who owns the stuff that Eric had that he was sitting on, or Mark St. John.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. That's something I want to ask the EricCarr.com people if they're there this year, which I hope they are.
Yeah.
All right. We shall get into it.
All right. Got some fun stuff going on today. So the theme of the trivia today is Kiss's 70s heyday.
Okay.
So got 5 categories as usual. This time they are the big popular albums. So the first category is Alive. The second category is Destroyer. Third category is Rock and Roll Over. Fourth is Love Gun. And the fifth is Alive 2. And instead of stupid E answers this time, I decided to go ahead with kind of like we did with the Name That Tune, and each question has a potential extra credit question attached to it.
Cool. All right, let's go Rock and Roll Over.
All right. The lyric, "When I laugh, well, baby, don't you know you can cry, 'cause you ain't enough, lady, to keep the master satisfied, yeah," comes from what song on Rock and Roll Over? Is
Mr.
it Take
Speed?
That one. Nice. Okay. Extra credit here. Name every song on Rock and Roll Over that the above lyric does not come from.
Okay. I Want You, Take Me, Calling Dr. Love, Ladies' Room, Baby Driver, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, See You in Your Dreams, Hard Luck Woman, and Making Love.
Nice. Thanks for saying those in the order that I wrote them in here. That made that very easy to follow.
I was trying to go in the order of the track listing. I might have mixed one up, but
No, I think that was.
So what is that? 2 points?
2.
Okay.
All right, Brandon.
Love Gun.
Love Gun. The artist who designed the cover art for Love Gun also designed what other 70s Kiss album cover art? Unmasked, Rock and Roll Over, Destroyer, or Hotter Than Hell?
Rock and Roll Over.
Incorrect.
Well, Destroyer.
Indeed. Indeed. Okay, so then extra credit for that one. Who was that artist?
Ken Kelly.
Yeah.
Met him at the Expo.
Oh, nice. Alrighty.
Okay, let's go Alive 2.
Okay. Which of the following venues were the live tracks on Alive 2 not recorded at? Capitol Theater, Budokan Hall, Kobo Hall, the Forum, and that's all the answers.
Now, is it more than one answer, or is it just one answer?
It's just one. There were 3 venues that they were recorded at. One of those 4 that I just said did not.
I'm going to say Budokan.
Incorrect.
Kobo Hall.
Correct.
Ah.
All right, yeah. Extra credit on that one. What was the date that Kiss played at Budokan that was recorded for Alive 2?
December 25th, 1977.
Nope. Got the year right. It was April 2nd.
Oh, so close.
Yeah. Alrighty, so then, so Branton now.
Oh, Love Gun again.
All right.
500.
Yes.
Daily double.
This one's a little easy.
That's what she
Which song on Love Gun is about an older man falling in love with a younger woman? I Stole Your Love, Got Love for Sale, Christine 16, or Plaster Caster?
Well, the answer is Christine 16, although if we were doing a different album, it could be Dr. Love.
That's true. Okay, I was going to... actually, the extra credit on this is name another Gene Simmons song that has this same message.
There you go.
I can think of several there. You know, you can go with that, or Going Blind, or even Dominoes seems to sort of imply that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or what's the... Put my log in your fireplace. From
Yeah. Fire starter.
From Fire Starter, yeah.
Oh, God.
Let's do Alive.
Okie dokie. How many songs are there on Alive in total? 14, 18, 16, or 20?
18.
Is
Incorrect.
all of them one of the choices?
No.
How about 20? Sounds like a good round number.
Also incorrect. It was 16.
Ah.
Or it could be that, yes.
All right, and here I'll say the extra credit question just because I'm curious. Or who's that? That was an Eli question, right?
Yeah.
Well, just out of curiosity, because I'm curious if either of you can figure this out. How many original songs had Kiss recorded prior to Alive?
Is that just including studio album?
Right.
30.
Almost.
20,
29, exactly, because Kissin' Time doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. Original.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I like their version a lot better than the original version.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, was that a just cause, or does he get that point?
I don't know. What do you think?
It don't matter. He can have the point.
All right. That does make it a tie game.
I hear the original all the time at work on Expo. They play it all the time, and I'm thinking, Kiss does that song so much better.
Yes.
I have the 45 somewhere.
Nice.
Well, you have the, don't you have the album without Kissing Time on?
Yes.
You still have that?
Nice. All right. Branton question.
Rock and Roll Over.
Ready? Which member of Kiss insisted that Peter sing Hard Luck Woman? Was it Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, or Paul Stanley?
Paul wrote the song, but I want to say that I know originally he wrote it for Rod Stewart to sing. I don't know exactly what happened there, but I think Gene was the one that suggested Peter.
Correct. And you might as well go ahead and take the bonus point, too, because the extra credit question was who did Paul originally intend the song to be for?
6-4 now.
And I'm sort of glad that they didn't have Rod Stewart do it, because I would rather had Peter do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally hear Rod doing it when you listen to it, but yeah, it's definitely fit Peter so much better.
Yeah.
Oh,
If the Peter fits, wear it.
By the way, not to jump off subject too quick, but did you guys hear that little clip of Eric Carr talking about when he did Beth on Smashes?
No.
He said he really didn't want to do it. He felt like it was sacrilege, but Gene and Paul kind of pressured him into doing it. So, kind of interesting to know that.
Right. I heard a clip of Bruce talking about that, and he said pretty much that same thing, but I hadn't heard Eric saying it. That's cool.
There's a little clip on that I Am a Kiss Fan YouTube channel he posted from an interview. Yeah, I thought that was...
Is another reason the reason they had him do that, was that because they didn't own the rights to it, or does that have anything to do with it? Were they just trying to get at Peter, or were they trying to respect Peter by you know what I mean?
They probably wanted to have Eric start doing it in concert, so they figured, we should have a recorded version. But he probably fought that too, and at least won that argument.
Yeah. Do you think that Peter was aware of that at the time? I mean, this was '88 or something. It's hard telling what he was into. Do you think he was paying attention to Kiss?
I'm sure he knew, or at least one of his buddies probably told him about it. I wonder if there is like interview footage or text out there of maybe his thoughts on that.
Yeah.
If any.
He don't ever text me about it.
Let's go back to Live 2.
Alrighty. What is the 8th song on Alive 2? Is it Shock Me, Tomorrow and Tonight, God of Thunder, or Calling Dr. Love?
Oh, God. Wait a minute.
I think it's Freebird. Trying to throw him off.
See, it's been a while now since I've listened to that, so I'm forgetting.
Sweet Home Alabama, That Smell.
I'm forgetting the order now. I'm going to say...
It's working.
I'm going to say it Shocked Me.
Correct.
Oh.
Extra credit. What are the 9th and 10th songs?
I already gave you the answers.
Hard Luck Woman and Tomorrow and Tonight.
Correct.
Tie game.
That song keeps popping up, don't it?
All right, Branton, what you got?
How about Alive 2?
Okie dokie.
I used to play the crap out of that on a double 8 track.
Oh, yeah.
Which I probably still do somewhere.
Okay, who did the You Wanted the Best intro on Alive 2? Was it J.R. Smalling, Eddie Balandis, Big Joe Hayden, or Dan Harmon?
Well, I'm just going to guess and say J.R. Smalling.
Incorrect.
I didn't think that was right.
Well, this is actually not a correct question, but Eddie Balandis.
Indeed.
Really, it was Gene Simmons. And Eddie Balandis did the Kiss.
Weird. Mm-hmm. Okay, so extra credit for that. What was Eddie's job for Kiss?
He was guitar tech.
Indeed, yep. Some websites that I looked at said he was Ace's guitar tech. Some said he was Ace's bodyguard. So it's up in the air, I guess.
Probably double duty.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy Thayer got coffee and played Spaceman.
That's true. All right, I do believe this is an Eli question now.
Oh, yeah. Let's do Destroyer.
Okay. At what number did Destroyer peak on the Billboard charts? Why are you? Okay, at what number did Destroyer peak on the Billboard charts a few months after its release? 5, 1, 34, or 11?
Peaked at 5.
Incorrect.
11.
Correct.
Second guess myself again.
Yes. Strangely enough, that's also what Rock and Roll Over peaked at. The odds of that. Okay, extra credit. What were the 4 singles released from Destroyer?
4 singles. Well, I don't. This is a sort of can be a trick question, I think. Well, Detroit Rock City. Do You Love Me?
Definitely not one.
Well, see, I was going to say Beth too, but I don't know if that counts as a single since it was sort of on the other side. But
well, they reissued it as the A side.
Oh, that's what I was wondering if they did that or not.
And then Detroit was the B side, because in that singles box set you get both 45s. It just has different artwork, which was dumb.
So what's the other one?
Shout It Out Loud and Flaming Youth.
Indeed.
But I won't take the point.
I was drawing a blank. I couldn't think of what the other ones would have been.
Better to draw them than shoot them. Rock and Roll Over.
Okie dokie. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This is one I would go blank on, but it feels like it should be obvious. Starting with Paul Stanley and moving clockwise, what is the order of the KISS members' faces on the cover of Rock and Roll Over? Is it Paul, Ace, Gene, Peter, Paul, Gene, Peter, Ace, Paul, Ace, Peter, Gene, or Paul, Gene, Ace, Peter?
Paul, Ace, Gene, Peter.
Incorrect.
The first one you said. What was the first one? I'll go with that one.
Also incorrect. It's Paul, Gene, Ace, Peter. Peter on the top. Indeed. Okay, so extra credit. Who designed the Rock and Roll Over album cover?
Ooh.
See, I always got mixed up with Ken Kelly and someone else because I always thought it was Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over was Ken Kelly, and Destroyer was someone else. I always had that back.
Right. Yeah, I would have guessed Ken Kelly if it were opposite. If it were me answering.
Wasn't it? Was it Paul?
No, a guy named Michael Doré or Dorette. I'm not sure which one it is.
Okay.
Is he the same guy that did Sonic Boom because they wanted it to be similar?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. They are similar.
Yep. I always thought Rock and Roll Over was one of their best covers.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think we're on Branton now.
Mm-hmm.
Go with Alive 2.
All righty. This will close out Alive 2. What is the total running time of the new original recordings on Alive 2? Is it 20 minutes and 53 seconds, 16 minutes and 32 seconds, 13 minutes and 11 seconds, or 22 minutes and 25 seconds?
The first one, 20 minutes and whatever you said.
Incorrect.
Another trick question, too.
Yeah, because it has that secret track on there.
Well, he said original songs. Not all. There's only, what, 4 original songs?
And it has the outro to Strawberry Fields Forever.
Well,
right.
Any way you want it is not original.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, well, I included all 5.
Oh, so...
I forgot about that. That's kind of my bad. I guess I should have said the studio tracks instead.
So what about the remasters? Is that the same length, or are we talking about the White Album?
Right.
Trying to throw him.
What was the one, 22 minutes something?
22, 25.
Sure.
It was the only other one in the 20-minute range. And also incorrect. It was actually 16:32.
Oh, I was going to say that one too.
Yeah. All those songs are pretty short. Okay, so extra credit on that one for either of you. Which of those 5 songs on Alive 2 was released as a single?
Rocket Ride.
Indeed.
What was the B-side of Rocket Ride?
It was, I want to say it was the live version of Shout It Out Loud, if I'm not
Really?
mistaken.
I was going to say Any Way You Want It, but I don't really know. I don't really know what it was.
Pretty sure it was the live Shout It Out Loud, I want to say.
Is that in that single set you got too?
Yeah. If I still had it, I'd pull it out and look. But
Yeah.
actually, I've got it digitally. Let me pull it up real quick.
Digitally.
Digitally. Okay, man.
You have covers on there with it, or is it just the music?
Yeah, it's got all the covers with it. Where's it at?
Does it have the comforter and the whole like bedspread, the pillowcases? And all?
Toilet seat cover.
Yeah.
That's really what they need to make. Not a toilet seat cover, but yeah, that too. But do they make bed sheets anymore? Like
Sure.
Kiss bed sheets and comforters and stuff? I haven't seen anything like recent stuff.
Yeah.
It really needs some of those. I mean, at least you'd think they'd have one with Gene's face on it. Because Gene probably would want that on his bed.
Oh, it was Tomorrow and Tonight live.
There that song is again. I think that's an omen.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so that was a Branton question. So back to Eli.
Okay, let's do Love Gun.
Okie dokie. How do you always get these? What is the 8th song on the original version of Love Gun? Is it Hooligan, Plastercaster, Human, or the title track?
8th. The 8th song.
8th Day, God Created Rock and Roll.
Almost Human.
Correct. All right, and this is probably one that you're going to get too. Extra credit. Name the track listing of Love Gun in album order.
I Story Love, Christine 16, Got Love for Sale, Shock Me, Tomorrow and Tonight, Love Gun, Hooligan, Almost Human, Plastercaster, Then She Kissed Me.
Yep.
And the secret track, what was that?
The penis-shaped track
That's what I
listing on
was
the back.
Okie dokie. Back to Branton.
What do we have? We got Alive 2, Destroyer, and...
It's every album from Alive to Alive 2, and we've knocked Alive 2 out now.
Okay, let's go ahead and do Alive.
Okay. How many songs from Hotter Than Hell are featured on Alive? Is it 3, 5, 2, or 6?
5.
Correct. Extra credit. What songs are they?
Oh
I
God.
knew it.
Yeah, this is well, Hotter Than Hell, of course. That's the easy one. I'm terrible with these two because I get Hotter Than Hell and Dressed to Kill mixed up.
Me too.
Songs. Got to Choose.
Yep.
I don't think that's right, but I'll say Watching You.
Correct.
Okay. God, what are the songs? Drawing a blank again. Well, that's on Dress to Kill. I know that. Let's see. Two more.
Yep.
It's like I'm running all these other songs like Hooligan. No, no, no. It's like, that's not even. Why are you thinking that? See, I'm thinking of songs that's on there, but they're not on a live, so that's on Unplugged. That's not right. Can I use a lifeline? Well, we might have to split this point because I can't think of anything else that I know for sure is on Hotter Than Hell.
How about a hint?
All right, they're both Gene songs.
Keep hearing Ladies' Room. I know that's not even on there. I can't think of anything else.
How about this? Track 2 and track 5.
Track 2. That's on the first album, isn't it?
Track 2 of Hotter Than Hell.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were talking about live. Track 2 of Hotter Than Hell. God. Terrible at this. Sweet Child O' Mine. I don't know.
Parasite and Let Me Go Rock and Roll.
Indeed.
So, I guess nobody gets the point for that.
Indeed.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Right. He did get the point for the main question, though.
Yes.
What do we got? 11 to 8 right now?
I've got it as 10 to 8.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, I think I gave you one of the... yeah, you're right, though. I think I gave you one of the extra credit questions when I shouldn't have.
Okay. Let's stick with Alive.
Okie dokie. How many songs on Alive feature a co-write from Ace Frehley? Is it 3, 5, 2, or 6? And I bet you know what the extra credit question is. So I might as well get thinking.
Let's say 2.
I was going to say just add them all together, and that's the answer.
Right.
2?
I would have thought of 2, but that is incorrect.
What were the other choices?
3, 5, and 6.
5.
Also incorrect. It's actually 3. Okay, so extra credit for whoever. Which songs are they?
So Cold Gin and Parasite.
Right. There's one, according to Wikipedia, that has a co-write that I would not have guessed, but I think I know why it's on there.
Oh, She?
No, it's actually Rock Bottom, which I assume is because
That's what I meant. I was thinking of the acoustic intro. I don't know why I said She. That was Wicked Lester, duh.
Yeah. Didn't they put the Rock Bottom intro on She on like double platinum or something?
Yeah.
Subconsciously, that's why you said that.
Exactly. Sean Delaney got me, man.
Yep.
Damn it.
All right, so that was an Eli question. So Branton?
Let's see. Let's do Destroyer.
Okie dokie. At what studio was Destroyer recorded? The Record Plant, The Fortress, Electric Lady, or Bell Sound?
I'm not positive, but I'll say Electric Lady.
Correct. I remember that was actually a trivia question once before that I got wrong. Okie dokie. Extra credit. What 5 other Kiss albums were recorded at the Electric Lady?
Well, I'd say the first 5.
Surprisingly, no. To me, this is. I wouldn't have guessed at least 1, maybe even 2 of the ones. Any clue on that one, Eli?
See, I just thought that all of the ones they did with Eddie Kramer potentially, but I'm sort of cloudy on that.
Yeah.
Was it the first album?
Nope.
Hotter Than Hell?
Also nope.
Dressed to Kill?
That one was there.
Sonic Boom.
Nope.
Back in Black.
Look it up.
Nope.
I don't know.
Okay, so get this. Dress to Kill, Dynasty, Asylum, and Paul Stanley and Peter Criss.
Wow.
Fucking Asylum? Like, what?
That's really strange. Really strange.
Yeah.
Well, I guess for another question, I wonder which ones they did at the record plant, because they did a lot of them there, I think.
Yeah. I don't remember because I clicked each album to look, and I would have seen which ones were at the record plant, but I don't remember.
That's interesting.
But yeah, I'm glad I clicked on all of them because I almost didn't click any of the 80s ones. To think that Asylum was there is mind-boggling. Right. I never guessed that.
Well, this is just in my head about it, but as far as like stuff that's recorded at certain places, I expect it to sound like something else that was recorded there. Like Jimi Hendrix, a lot of his stuff was there, of course.
Right.
And I just expect the Kiss albums that was recorded there to not necessarily sound like Jimi Hendrix, but it has that sound that's defining for that place that they recorded it.
Right.
Or even producers, as far as a similar thing.
Indeed.
But Asylum doesn't really sound like Dress to Kill.
Yeah, it sounds like Animalize. So, yeah. Alrighty.
Let's see. Rock and Roll Over.
Okay, this will close Rock and Roll Over.
That's a sexual reference, isn't it?
Which song on Rock and Roll Over features a guitar solo from Paul? Take Me, Making Love, I Want You, or Ladies' Room?
I Want You.
Correct, because it actually has one from Ace and Paul, both in that song.
Mm-hmm.
Extra credit, how many songs on Rock and Roll Over feature Paul Stanley on lead vocal?
I'd say all of them on his solo album. Does that count?
Yeah.
3.
4. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't remember which 4.
Well, let's see. I Want You, Take Me.
Making Love.
And then... Oh, Mr. Speed. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, the way you just said those actually is a whole courtship and relationship.
Yeah. That's funny.
Do you have like the whole thing there? It's like a soap opera.
Somebody should do that.
The Young and the Restless Over.
Yeah. Yep. Strangely, that album is 4 from Paul, 4 from Gene, and 2 from Peter. Which is weird, because I considered doing the extra credit question as who has the most lead vocals on Rock and Roll Over, because it would have been a trick question, because both Gene and Paul. But then again, I mean, that was pretty common, I would think. Alrighty. What you got, Brandon?
Let's see. Let's go to Alive again.
Okie dokie. This should close out Alive. Which of the following 2 people have made public statements wherein they mention that Peter's drum tracks were the only thing not overdubbed in the studio. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Very long, convoluted sentence. Is it Gene and Paul, Peter, Chris, and Eddie Kramer, Gene and Eddie Kramer, or Peter and Paul?
Did you say two?
Two people.
You mean two pairs or just two people?
Just two people have said Peter's
Two
drum
apples.
tracks.
Okay, I see. Gene and Eddie Kramer.
Incorrect.
Peter and Eddie Kramer.
Right. Yeah, Gene seems to be the only one that maintains that it was all left alone. All right, extra credit. Which song has Paul Stanley said that there's a bass mistake in?
Gene's bass solo?
Probably just, I would guess, 100,000 years.
Come on and love me.
Mm.
Yeah, he said pretty much every chorus has the same bass mistake in it.
Huh.
Beats me. All right, so we still got Destroyer and Love Gun.
Let's do Destroyer.
All right. Okay. Which review of the Destroyer album described the album as having bloated ballads, pedestrian drumming, and lackluster performances? The Village Voice, All Music, Blender, or Rolling Stone?
All Music.
Incorrect.
Rolling Stone.
Correct.
I figured it was that.
Extra credit. What place did Destroyer make on Kerrang's 1989 list of the 100 greatest heavy metal albums of all time?
12.
36. Pull a number out of the air, somebody.
Yeah, I was just, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to see that list. Do you have the whole list?
No, I didn't. Okay, so that closed Destroyer. I think all we've got left is one question in Love Gun.
Okay.
And I've lost track of whose question it is.
Branton.
Gotcha.
He needs this. He needs
Yep.
this point and the extra point to tie it.
That's right. Who played the piano part on Christine 16? Now, the first choice here is reminiscent of my famous E answers. I just couldn't help myself. Was it Elton John, Joe Moore, Corky Stasiak, or Eddie Kramer?
Eddie Kramer.
Correct. Okay, can you tie it? The extra credit. Which other Kiss albums have Eddie Kramer produced?
Other than Destroyer? Or, I mean, other than, he didn't produce Destroyer, other than
Love Gun.
Other than Love Gun.
Right. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wow. Dress to Kill?
Nope.
Wrong.
Nope.
I messed it up, man.
I
should know, but I really...
Hotter Than Hell?
Nope.
Rock and Roll Over.
You did do that one, yeah.
The Best of Kiss?
Was it... I want to say it was Ace's solo album?
Yep.
And Gene Simmons' The Vault.
Oh, holy crap. Okay, it's my bad. It's only 5.
Look It Up.
Nope.
Animalize.
You're telling me that you don't know which album or you don't know that Eddie Kramer didn't produce Lick It Up?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Animalize.
Nope.
Asylum.
Nope. Another
Vinnie
Paul.
Vincent Invasion.
Well, you got all the studio albums.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alive. 2.
Indeed.
That's 5, isn't it?
I don't remember now. Well, he did 3 of the 4 Alive albums. That's why I thought there were 6, because I thought he did the 4th too, but I just looked it up and he didn't. So it's the 3 Alive albums, and then Rock and Roll Over and Ace Frehley, and then of course he did Love Gun too.
Yeah, I would have never got that. If it was Bob Ezrin, I probably would have got it, but Eddie Kramer, I just didn't
Bob
realize
Evans.
Yeah, Bob Evans did Biscuits and Gravy, Open Face Biscuit.
You know what? We actually do have a song left in Destroyer. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, okay.
Or a question left in Destroyer.
Shoot.
I don't know how that happened because it should have ended with Branton, and it did.
Whoever
Weird.
answers it first gets the point.
Okay, good, because neither of you are going to get it. What is the total length of Destroyer? The runtime? Is it 34:11, 38:19, 29:27, or 31:20?
34.
38:19.
Branton got it. 34:11.
And
Okay.
I don't know this for sure, but a lot of their 70s albums seem to be really short compared to.
Yes.
I think a lot of bands were like that. If it wasn't like a double album,
I think if I'm not mistaken, Dress to Kill was like not even 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The whole album. So what's the extra credit for that one?
This will be the tiebreaker. Shout it out loud. At what timestamp does the actual song Detroit Rock City start? Or I guess I could have said, how long is the intro?
1 minute and 48 seconds.
Not quite.
Minute 28.
Oh, so close. It's 1:30. Right on. Yeah.
Well, we're tied.
12
apiece.
Now we need a Vinnie Vincent Invasion question.
Yes. All right. Just a memento. Let's see. What can we come up with? I knew we were going to need a tiebreaker someday. Stupid even number of questions. All right, let's jump clear back to the first Kiss album, because who doesn't love that? All right. Okay, how many co-writes does Ace have on the first Kiss album?
3. I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
Which I guess I was supposed to.
not 3.
No, it's not 3 though.
Not 3.
I should have said that. I should have said not 3.
Not 3.
2?
It's 2. Indeed. Any idea which ones? Just that.
Cold Gin and Deuce.
Ooh, Cold Gin and Love Theme from Kiss.
Oh, love. Wow.
And when he wrote
Wait
those
a
songs,
minute.
what color underwear was he wearing?
Yeah.
Orange and red. I thought, because that came from Acrobat, I thought that was something they had before Ace was even in the band.
Yeah, well, according to Wikipedia anyway, that one has all 4 of them.
Or maybe they did write it then when he joined the band.
Yeah.
He just killed the dog.
I think so. For some reason, there's just a bowl on the ground.
Gotta be somewhere.
Yes.
Well, that was probably the closest game we've had the whole time since Trivia's been back, hasn't it?
I think so. What did it end up being? 13-12?
Mm-hmm.
And the first tie game.
I should have wore my tie.
All right, so Brandon, we'll expect you to have non-kiss questions next week, like you said.
I can do that.
We'll change it up.
Change it up. We're going to wear our underwear on our head next time.
Orange and red.
Orange and red on our head.
All right, well, we're gonna go throw stones at Paul Stanley, and thanks for watching. So,
staying behind that one guy.
That's right, yeah. So again, drop us a line if you guys are planning on coming to the expo. We want to meet up with as many of you as possible. Hey, if anyone can't make the expo, and if you want us to try to ask any of the guests a specific question, let us know. We'll try to throw some in and report back to you. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Anything you guys want to mention real quick?
I was going to say, and also, if you want to participate in the Kiss Meets a Podcast experience, home experience, it's $3,000. We're running a sale this week.
We'll come to your house, vacuum and dust and all that stuff.
I'm good at cleaning litter boxes. I can do that.
If they don't have a cat, you'll just bring a litter box with you. And
I'll bring a litter box to clean it.
Bring it in the house and clean it.
Yes.
Oh, God. All right, everyone. So continue to share the page, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching again. We will see you all next week.